Good evening, everyone. And as usual, it's Saturday evening and we are back. And today we have a very special person, a very special friend. We got to know each other during one of the Ed Tech summits that I used to host at the India Today group. And I saw this, gutsy lady who was with the children and debating with them, getting them to speak, and it was really, really a lovely first meeting that I had with her. And ever since I've seen her popping into social media almost in every nook and corner you look, there is something that Aprajita is talking about. So we are very happy to host you today, Aprajita, and we are looking forward to learning so much from you. So
Thank you
over
so
to
much.
you.
Thank you so much, Deepi. It's been a dream to work again with you, and thank you for the fulfillment, gratitude. Without further delay, I'll just start sharing my screen and off we go. Here we are. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Today's theme, as we all know, has been amply stated, is social media and my engagement with classroom interactions with social media and how I've got my students to learn through different patterns, different methods, enjoying what they can get from these experiences. Just listen to this, please, for just 10, maybe just about 2 seconds.
They can choose, but of course, in the portfolio, they have to they can choose, but of course, in the portfolio, they have to.
I'll get back to that in just 1 second before I introduce myself. That was all the noise that makes me. I am Aprajita Ralli, and I am the middle school coordinator at Pathway School, Noida. I will be talking about the social media for education, and thank you, Dipti and Mehetatva, for this beautiful opportunity. Before I move on, I'll just introduce myself. And at times you might feel I'm throwing I'm just bloating and gloating about it, but you'll understand why the need for this. So as you all know now, I am Aprajita, and I have been blessed to become the global education influencer. I am a certified Google Educator Level 1. I'm a certified Seesaw Educator and Ambassador. And I am a certified Pen Pals Ambassador and Educator, certified Teach SDGs Educator. I'm actually getting embarrassed saying all this about me, but you'll get to know exactly why. And I am also certified MIE expert and trainer. And this is how my LinkedIn profile looks. I believe that if I have to educate you, my children, teachers, my fellow people, anybody, I need to upskill myself, which is why I went on into that whole, talk about what I am doing and who am I and where am I going. And so for everything that I do, I first test myself before I put my children onto it. Any social media that I feel that the students should be aware of, or they should know, or they should use it in the education field, I am there on it first, testing it out, experimenting with it, going and getting every knowledge that I can for it, being the lifelong learner that I aspire to be, and then moving on to getting them into the space. All right. I think so. I'll just start sharing just in a second. So when people see my profile, it inspires them. It puts them in a space of understanding where to go. And I get several questions from that, which is where which was the need of the hour. Going back to where I wanted to take us. Okay. And then again, using Twitter that I do for education, this is where I created my PLN. My first interaction with teachers to understand how to enhance my own knowledge was Twitter. I've learned a lot. Understanding of how to use it came by experiential learning, and which is where I intend taking my students through. This is what social media, before social media, our life was, our world was. Many of us will be able to identify with all of these. And this is what we heard when we were growing up. One bird to the other. And today's birds are the Twitters. So what is social media? Is social media this, opening out, developing content, looking at search, information, data, networking, whether it's moving on to the devices, whether it's YouTube, Facebook? Is it this, which is the student's world, which is the netizen world? Or is it this? Have we inboxed them? Depending on how we are perceiving it. We'll just come to that in just a second again. Brainstorming about it, we need to understand the value of the social media because we know that it is here to stay. So to take us through to understand how we are going to be using it, we need to enable our students to help them develop those skills and meet them in the world that they have started living in. I don't think that's such a bad idea, but it just takes a little bit more effort from our part to meet us there. The netizens, the millennials that they have become. My idea is to use what tools they enjoy to my benefit, to give them that agency, that voice and choice that we need to make learning effective, engaging, explorative, and deep. And why not? I see a lot of benefit in that. If 98% of our students are on social media, why not use it to our advantage? If universities and colleges are looking at social media to see, where the student profile is, why not enable them? If students are looking for their own choices of where they want to meet from the social media presence of institutes, then why not equip them with the tools? Of course, there is going to be lots that just meets the eye. There's a whole lot of scaffolding. There's a whole lot of beneath the obvious, and we need to keep uncovering that. And how should we put that to use? I hope we are not going to burn our own boats. Of course not. We are equipped teachers, knowledgeable people who are going to use the tools for our advantage to make sure that students are going to be able to use information, knowledge, content, and using the tools to just share that. So a lot again comes back to us. I believe that it is very important for us to develop the skill of which tool to use different approaches to learning and to teaching. So to understand what each tool would enable my student to, which is where I have made my presence felt very, very eloquently and very, very there in the face at times also. So I will divide the benefits of social media into skill building. And there are 4 different types of skills that I would be referring to today. And I say that, the 21st century is about giving those skills to the students because we are not aware of the new jobs, of the new problems. of the new life. It's only left to our imagination. And how prepared are we for that? To be adaptive and transformative, we need to enable the students to develop these 4 different, very, very crucial skills that I'm going to be covering today. The pandemic, of course, has shown us all a different side of life and a different side of us. And we've understood that there is no other way but social media, which is here to stay. So using the social media called Adobe Spark, wherein I put my students on to creating different videos, which they can share. I don't know if you can hear this, but this is coming from content. None of this is just a random process, but it's all coming from content. So first the students research, and then they use the different media to share their content with not only their peers, but globally. So if I am talking about communication, what is communication? It is sharing of thoughts, ideas, very, very effectively, asking questions to a variety of audience and using different tools and medium, which is where this is a sample for. So students have understood first and then created these different tools. Use these different tools. Moving on to another way of communication, wherein students are using the Insta page, and they have shared this on a global platform, wherein they are trying to create awareness about a topic that is very close to their heart. They are talking about raising awareness on the rights of animal rights in India. And so they've started a fundraiser. They first started this group called Moza. On Moza means a miracle on Insta, and then they shared their learning and their action on this platform called actionforsdgs.org. They've created their own profile and they've been sharing it. So another way of communication here. Moving on. Students created those Adobe Spark videos and Adobe Spark images, and then they created a post, in fact, a hashtag on the Twitter, and that's how we shared our work. Again, another global issue that the students did pick up, which is climate change. I'll just take you through the portal where they have here. They created this post, this handle actually, and they created so many different posters, videos, streams, which they were sharing on both Insta and Twitter. And they've been acknowledged by people across. When that adult acknowledgement comes, it's a different hype altogether. Children start working even doubly. If you see each tweet or a retweet, I saw my children transform into more confident learners, more enthusiastic about what they were doing. Again, this was forces of nature that they had created. I'll just take you through the stories. Here they are. So on both Insta and on Twitter, they made this work visible. All right. And this was about creating that awareness, communication, making them global citizens, aware of the world, and to be able to contribute to how the world is operating. Moving on to how can a student communicate without having first researched? So while we say that communication is one of the most important skills in the current century, where people need to display, project, be visible. However, if their research work isn't complete, if their content isn't there, if the information hasn't been accurate, then they will not be able to think at a higher level and communicate the same. And if they are communicating, something which is substandard or something which is below, the whole idea of the using of the social media turns out to be as frivolous as burning our own boats, as the visuals showed earlier, as probably just an update of I'm going out to eat ice cream with my friend. And we don't want that. So we help them develop the research skills, and there also I have used social media, and I'll just show you how. So this is a Wakelet, which has enabled my students. We were talking of an interdisciplinary unit. Again, we have related it to the SDGs, and students have chosen the SDG, which SDG they want to work with. And on the Wakelet, they've made all of this work visible to the world to see, and sharing it not only with their community, but with an adult community, and also making it a repository for future. This is a batch that passed out last year, and as I said, future. So I am now sharing it with you. Here we go. So all their work visible at one place. And this is something called the Wakelet, where we have very, very productively allowed for children to be collaborators, and they have also uploaded all their work. So task by task, they chose the social issue, they chose the country that they were talking of, and that they did research on it, and they have done their citations, their bibliography, and all of that. And everything is relatable to their own personal learning and personal choice. So it's not something that has been put on to them or forced upon them. There is this group of students who were talking about women empowerment and how they've taken up. So if you see, they've also allotted themselves the roles, and very clearly the research element is coming through. Research and coordinator, writer and researcher, social media researcher. So very responsible work coming out from the students' projects. My belief is that I cannot have my student just put down information without me scanning it first. And of course, that is something that I continue to do. I have them a lot. Teachers also work with them. This is a teacher from our department who's working with this set of children before they put up their information. And how they have worked through with this teacher, mentoring them on the project. So it's of course, and this is grade 10. So looking across subjects and disciplines, deepening student learning, effectively engaging them and meeting their specific needs. That is, according to me, what research is, and I have effectively been able to bring that out.
Hi, Aprajita. Sorry to interrupt you, but the hyperlinks that you're opening up are not showing on the shared screen. So if you could facilitate that, that will be really nice. I just had a Google colleague ring up. They're really interested and enthused to see your show. But only the slides are being shown. The links are not opening up. We can't see the links.
Can I just keep putting them in the chat? Would that be visible? Would that be possible?
It'll be nice to see them here.
All right. Okay.
And you can, the chat is
which
not
means that I'll change my screen then. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Just give me a minute. I'm so sorry. Thank you for that. Okay. So would you confirm if you can see that now? Because for me, it's showing.
Yeah. Now I can see the Wakelet. Yeah.
All right. So as I was talking about the different research patterns that the children have followed, so Wakelet has enabled me to upload all PDFs. Student work is all parked at one place for this interdisciplinary unit. Then I'll have to go back to the hyperlink again. Okay. I'm not sure if this is visible. No. All right. Okay. Is this visible? Oh man, this is not.
No, we can't see your screen now. We can just see you.
Okay. Yeah, is this visible, the Twitter page? Yeah, all right.
It's coming up, yes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about this, but I thought it would be seamless. So I put it all up as hyperlinks, but well, technology does challenge you sometimes.
That's true. That's true. But we would like to see the links. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll take you through them. So this is how my students had, as I was talking about the project, and this is at the communication stage, right? When we are looking at the communication skills that the students were able to demonstrate. So this is the handle that they'd created, and the tasks based on the SDG, and this is how they went on about it. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing, and I'll keep sharing new tabs so that it is easier for everybody to have a look-see. Okay. This was again something that as I had pointed out, that the students were working on a project called Moza, which is Miracle. And they have worked upon this whole idea of action on the SDGs. They're working on SDG number 3, and they're talking about animal rights. And the whole page and their action has been shared on a platform, which gives them a huge amount of confidence and a recognition. This is an SDG action campaign, which the students have launched. And sometimes you start all of these things thinking that we are pushing the children into this zone, and we are sort of giving them a task. Sometimes they are resistant to it because they believe that, it's too much work. There's so much to do already. However, when they start seeing the results of it, whether it is a teacher or it is a student, they start to own it. And once that starts to happen, I think our mission is accomplished. This is again another project which grade 9 and 10 students were doing. They're calling it One Girl with Change is a Revolution. And these are a group of about 10 girls who've started this project. And they are talking about women's rights. And you will see them not just frivolous inputs, but very good researched material which is going up. And also they conducted chats on this session, on this platform, chats for their own students. They engaged people from the UN. So it was a very, very successful project and gave them a lot of confidence, a lot of hearing. Now there is no looking back for these children. They have taken up this project to a next level, which I'm very excited to show. And let me see if I can place that for you somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So they are now talking about menstrual hygiene. They're talking about issues which are taboo because they have been given that freedom, that leeway. They are talking about, things that men do not want to hear, that women are shying off. And they're talking of period poverty. They're talking of making a difference. Their group itself is called Khoon, which means blood. So the whole excitement of, a teacher comes through when a student is taking things beyond their classroom. This is something that I was absolutely excited with, and I was, there was actually no controlling me when I saw that my students have been able to take it up to that level, wherein just a simple IDU, interdisciplinary unit, has taken them to the research level, and then they have been able to form their own NGO, and they're working in different directions. This started off with them in grade 9. They are currently at grade 11, and they are successfully running this project. So that goes for research skills and how I've been able to channelize my children into that. Let me just take you back to the presentation. This is, again, something which was as part of my history classes in grade 9 and 10. We were doing the world between wars. Students were understanding the role of different countries and how the superpowers came to be, and how the strong monarchies established themselves into superpowers, and how their resources were managed and all of that. And then how the smaller countries, or not so well-off countries, how they were. So the whole idea of how the world is today, where are we living today, how that came about. They shared their information on their knowledge based on whatever they had done. They were supposed to create diary entries. They've created about 20 to 25 diary entries, which they have parked on this platform called the Seesaw. It's written here. And so they shared memes post that. After having taken up their country roles, each one of them chose which country they wanted to be at. And there were sometimes children working in pairs and sometimes children working in groups. So after which, all of them, they made their own memes. These are not taken down from the internet, but these have been created by the students after having done their research work. So both communication, critical thinking, and research coming through in this project. This was, again, another project which the students did. They have talked about, the rights of people, and then they put down their voice on the UN platform. And we embedded that into our Seesaw blog. I'll just stop sharing this and take you through the blog so that you get a feel of how that is. Okay, just here it is. All right. So this is the blog, and not everybody's work or not all works gets published to the blog. It is only which is recommended by the whole class. We have a rubric according to which we say that, okay, this is the assignment, you have to do this much, and if this is done, then your work will get published to the blog. So they all decide for themselves, okay, ma'am, no, I don't think this is it. So there, if you see, I'm sending the rest on Outlook because this is what I could do, and the rest of it I'm not very happy with, so I'm just sending it out there. Or I'm Googling it out to you, and ma'am, I need to talk about it, and so on and so forth. And then, it's just going on, the way the students are working. And this is a platform which is called Seesaw, which allows the students to create different kinds of entries, whether it's a blog, whether it's a video post, as you saw, whether it's a PDF. This is a diary entry of 25 pages, which a student has uploaded. And it's all here. So I'm scared to even, click on the original because it will take me to a different page, which you might not be able to see. So I'll just, while it is a little small here, but you will be able to understand what it means. Again, blogs, the memes. And so the meme war actually went on in my class for about 20 odd days, where students were enjoying this and they did not want to stop doing it. And also, if you continue to see, they have not stopped researching either. So while the critical thinking, the communication is all building up, I have not allowed them to go beyond the structure of my lesson. They don't challenge that. So the learning is happening very, very effectively, and the social media is getting used in the fashion that it rightfully should be. Okay. Moving on to creative thinking, wherein all of this knowledge that they have acquired, how are they going to share it? How are they going to display it? So I allow them here to have a little play. And that's where their creative thinking comes in. Now, everybody is not an artist, not everybody is a writer. So therein, the differentiation comes in, where students are allowed to learn and work in their own spaces. They're allowed to try out new approaches. They are also imaginative, and how we go about that. Which means I have to do the sharing caring again. Just a minute. Okay, here it is. So there are several ways that students have taken this up. One of the things that one of my students did was he created an Insta page where he speaks of the daily occurrences. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, I don't think that you can see this. Let me just bring it to you. He talks about the daily occurrences of the world, and other children took to his page, and they have been, when you see this, you'll know it. So they have been, looking at his Insta page, talking about it. This gives us sometimes the lead to talk about in our classes, because he's, as you can see, he's picking up absolute topical issues. And throughout our political science classes, or even if it's history, we have a good startup where we talk about these various issues that he keeps bringing up on a daily basis. And it's amazing at the way that this child has started reading so much more, because of the fact that he knows now he has an audience, and so many people are looking at his work. So he has creatively put himself to practice, where he reads and then he sort of creates either a meme or creates a story, and he makes it a point to share it with everybody on the next day. If people haven't seen it, that also becomes quite this thing. Oh, I haven't seen Vishwam's work, so I have to go and see what he's done. So there's a whole buzz that's created around his work, and I thought that was one of the most innovative ways of him getting the limelight, plus my teaching to happen uninterrupted. I have an agent there who takes over the class, and I don't need to do much about it at all. So that is one of the very good things that came out of this social media usage. Moving on. Okay. I've shown you the others. I've shown you Mozza, I've shown you Kuhn, I've shown you various other things. And as I said, the light bulb lit up with Vishwam in the center, and everybody, all social butterflies coming across and using it very, very usefully. Without putting it all together, without forming groups, without understanding that we are in a world today where we are not meeting children and students every day. There are certain set of children who come one day and the other group comes the other day. So social media has given me that wing to be collaborative, to be able to work locally and globally, to achieve a common goal. Because I believe that collaboration is not just group work, but it's looking at how I can work in groups locally and globally, looking at issues globally, as we just saw. So, how does social media help me there? With not with using the students expertise, and also looking at the hybrid spaces that we are working in these days. It's not a must that the same set of children are there the other day. So I believe also, again, what is written on the wall is here to stay. So why not give them the walls to make everything stay? And I've believed that I've seen that they have been able to build deeper connections across grade levels. This is a very recent picture of some of the students who were in school and some who aren't. And as you can see, that most of the images you would find wherever I'm publishing student work, I would always hide their face or get consent from the parent. As a school, we have taken up the policy that we do get parental consent. And so we are okay with publicizing or sharing student faces. But to be on the safer side, I always sort of mark this so that certain times, if I am doing it, I wouldn't want my students' faces to come out there. What they do, I also teach them how to be careful, how to be netizens, how to be, very, very mindful of what is going out. So again, the idea of how we are operating, if we are not putting them to use in a very responsible manner, it will be very lighthearted and it will be very flippant, which we do not want our students to be. Again, students working in collaborative space, that shared working has happened here in the physical space, but sharing has happened at a space wherein my students were working on a project which was with the Pen Pal school project. And their work was being shared with students who were their pen pals in different parts of the world. So one of the things that really worked very well was, I'll just tell you, was Flipgrid, again, which was where my students were sometimes very hesitant because, ma'am, we don't want to record ourselves, we don't want to show our faces. So we made it more engaging for them to look at the content of what they had to do more than showing their faces. So it didn't matter to them by the end of it because they were enjoying the task so much. The tasks became more important than what they were doing at the end of it to record themselves. So here was the task. We were reading globalization and sustainability was our big idea. We were reading global world and global trade and how we got to now. And so I chanced upon this book. So I started to read it and I told them, I said, okay, guys, this is a book. Would you be interested? And it was not for everyone. I have a class of about 24 children. It wasn't open for everybody. It wasn't mandatory for everybody. There were about 10 children who took to it. And 5 of them only wanted to sort of share their opinions on the book, which was fair enough for us because I did not want it as a mandate. So this is where my advanced learners came up again. The ones who took out time to read the book, they bought the book. We all bought the book. We all had a reading, session. We would read 15 pages and then we would chat up on the WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp group going up. And again, that's social media helping us out in collaboration with the purpose. And then the students started to record their work. And some of them, if you see, they've hidden their faces. So that took away from them the whole consciousness factor, while they continue to share what was important. So that worked very well. And I will take you to another piece of work. Again, which was on, so the work that they did was, not only shared within the school, within their class, but also, as I said, globally. So my students, I normally try and put them on, if they're working on topical issues or contemporary issues, I try and put them on to bigger projects where they are collaborating with some school from the outside, wherein they get that empowerment and enabling them to work and, share their information more and more. So towards the end, would I say that social media can replace books? It cannot replace books, but it does act, as you've seen right through. It does act as, a medium of exchanging information and knowledge. It acts as a medium of building those very essential 21st century skills. It acts as student agency. As I said, I have seen it for myself that my students have built a lot of confidence coming from where they are. And also, they have been able to get themselves, wrap their head around what's happening in the new world. This is the new normal. And they are not now threatened by teachers invading their spaces, because we have inched our way into it so smoothly that, we're using it to our advantage. And so students are very happy to share their work, very happy to let us in. But I am very, very mindful of how I'm planning each lesson, how I'm impacting each student, where I am giving them that right to contribute, who is going to be looking at their work, making the environment very safe, acting very, very responsibly, giving them value of what is happening, and foremost, topmost, looking at a fun way of interaction and transferring knowledge to them. With that, I would wrap up my session. If there are any questions or any other sharing that anyone wants me to do, I'll be happy to do that. Thank you so much, Deepti and Pachika, for the entire time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. It was a very, very good session, and we are really thankful, very insightful. So thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and ask. I guess there was one question, which was, wait, I'll just show it to you. It said, how could it be useful for primary students?
Of course. So the Padlet, the Seesaw that I showed you, we are using it for students which are, even in KG class, even the pre-learners, if they are able to sort of even draw or sketch, or, because the platform as such, if you explore it, it's very, very handy for student work to be artifacted, also to be saved as images and then shown. So also videos can be embedded, YouTube videos can be placed there. So Seesaw is a very, very good platform for this, for all age levels. We are using it for our primary and the senior most year levels.
So, ma'am, someone is also wanting to know if we can share the presentation somewhere so that they can.
Of course. May I share the link with you?
Sure.
Just give me a minute. Yeah, I'll just share the link with you. Then you're good to go. So I've downloaded it, Buchika. Can I, send it across after, because
Yes,
this is my
you
school
can
ID.
share it with me and I can share it on the
Yeah,
group.
I'll do that for sure, because this is my school ID. I wouldn't want access, open access to it. Yeah.
There's another question, ma'am. So that says, excellent examples. Could you suggest some measures that you used to address social media bullying?
Okay, this is so useful. And so what we did was we police ourselves a lot. There is a lot of policing to begin with. B, as I said, one has to be very responsible. For every stage of the work, I am mentoring the students, or there is a mentor who has been assigned for any kind of work or any kind of project that the students are doing. Thirdly, we have tech coordinators, technology leaders who are students within every year group. So till about grade 9, we have those who are very mindful. There is a training that happens for these technology leaders, and they're very mindful of what goes up. So one tells them, okay, and plus, if you see all these tools, there can be a moderation from the teacher end. You don't publish the comment till the teacher has moderated. And so if the content doesn't get published any which way till there is a moderation from the teacher, so you can set those things saying that the setting is for teacher moderation. And if they're not published, then of course you can talk about it to the child that this has happened and whatever. However, if there has been a slip, if in spite of all these set firewalls there is a slip, we have had a student wherein we had certain unparliamentary things being said about another one, and we brought the student to task. We gave them in school suspension. So there were blocks and measures which we keep putting, and all the time continuously telling them what is digital citizenship, how do we not how do we respect other person's space, how to comment on other person's work, how to respect other person's space. And I think the idea that we are exposing them to this whole thing of education through social media will make them more responsible, rather than, because we know that's their world, we know this is here to stay. There is no way that we can take them away. However, parents do not allow, how much ever parents do not allow children to be on phone or on any kind of social media or whatever, you will still find students who have downloaded hangouts, who have downloaded, they're working on Teams, they are chatting up on Teams. So that whole, how do I say, the ownership has to be brought in at some level to the student themselves, in spite of these checks and balances that we keep putting up. I think the students need to be made aware of the consequences, not only in today's life, but in future, if they are caught doing these things ever. And that's the practice that we follow.
That's really well explained, ma'am. So someone also wants to know the name of this platform again. It was Seesaw, I think, right?
Seesaw, yes.
So, and also,
SEESAW.
and also there is one
This is
question
some.
which says that, is this, one second, is this platform, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. Is this platform
Beneficial for
beneficial for
students who
students
are
who
otherwise.
otherwise are in the shell?
Definitely. I think in the shell, if you mean there are non-communicative and who would sort of be reserved, is that what you mean in the shell?
Probably that's what.
Yeah. So if that is, that gives them an unthreatening place, a non-threatening space to talk, to share, to express. I would actually recommend you to please go through this and just explore it first for yourself. It's really, really empowering and enabling for a teacher and a student to be able to sort of access this. Puchika, I've just put this down for you here. You can share
Sure,
it.
ma'am. I'll do. I'll share it.
So I put down the link for this. It's really good. Even for that matter, somebody who's not a very talkative person, there is another thing called as Pen Pal School. That is also, I'm just putting that down too. That is also something which I found very, very useful. Have I spelled it? Okay, yeah. No, the COM is missing there. I've found that very, very useful for students to engage with different topics. And yeah, thank you.
So, okay. Okay, so it's going. Okay. So thank you, ma'am. So we have all good comments that it was a very unique webinar, as some people are saying, and very uh, insightful. And I mean, as a mother, I also learned a lot, and we worry a lot, for our kids that they're always on the computer or laptop or phone. But yes, this makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much for being here, ma'am. It was a great pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. Can I just look at one question that's come here? And this is
Okay,
something
I'll check
that,
it. Yeah, sure. I'll just
yeah.
share it.
So we are not actually, Miss Nirmala, promoting more usage of internet. I am eating out of the existing internet time. I am eating out of their already screen time that they have. Because if, I have a growing daughter, she is 16 years old, and there is no way I can sort of argue with her to pull her out away from this zone. And especially because of the lockdown, the whole of the last year, they've had their interactions, their friendships only through the social media. Even the youngest ones, we've seen them, and with schools pushing their children onto their world, that's the phone. They're living literally on the screen. So to reduce screen time, I believe that if I were to put the students onto some productive work, as a parent, I would love my student or my child to be on more productive work than just surfing around or just browsing through, which they will in any case do. This is, as I said earlier, is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So let's just use it to our advantage. Pull out from their internet time instead of adding on, which is what I try to do.
That is actually a very good idea. I'm definitely going to use that. And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Pleasure's mine.
Okay.
Thank you.